In this video, you'll learn how to create interactive Power BI reports using buttons, bookmarks, and selection pane, and why this is crucial for better user experience. We'll build dynamic visuals that switch seamlessly without cluttering your report. Let's dive in.
Let's see what is happening now. When I click on this button, one visual switches to another visual. What is actually happening is visibility. One visual becomes visible and the other one becomes invisible. So it does not actually switch between two visuals. We are controlling the visibility of the visual. And because they are overlapping, it looks like a visual switches. So I need a way to control the visibility of the object. And that's where your selection pane comes in. Incredible tool. In your view tab, you have your selection pane. What does it do? Allows you to control the visibility of objects. And I'm using this term carefully, objects, so you can control visibility of text box, visual, slicer, bookmarks, buttons, anything that you put on the page, image, you can control the visibility. Let's click on selection pane. It appears on the right. Right now, we only have two objects basically, and I can turn it off, turn it on. Okay, easy. That's what a selection pane does. Controls the visibility of an object. Once I know how to control the visibility of an object, let's say I hide my urgent or I make it invisible. So right now only one visual is visible. Now I need to save or capture the current state of the report. Now I need to save the current state of the report. That's where, what do we have? We have bookmarks. That's what a bookmark is. Bookmark allows you to capture the current state of the report. So I can capture a state like this, and then I can create a vice versa scenario, and I can create another bookmark for a vice versa scenario, and then it allows me to switch. We will see what it looks like. Okay.
Excuse me, Ali. If we have selections, and this would happen to me, if we have a bunch of selections, we build a report, and that report sort of sits there for a few months, and we don't think about it, and then we have to edit it. How do we know that we just haven't had a selection hidden? Like if I look at this, we've only got two graphs at the moment, but if we have, say, four, something was a work in progress, didn't go any further, but we want to know whether we've actually built it. Is there a way of actually knowing what the contents of our file are and the visualizations that we have already created without going to selection? Is there an index of the visualizations that we have created? So I kind of do stuff, and 6 months later I have to go back to it. But if I don't know that I've deselected something.
What do you mean by deselected? By using a slicer?
You're in the selection area at the moment, and you've hidden the donut chart.
I have hidden the donut. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And if in 6 months' time I don't recall what I've done, is there a way of knowing the visualizations are there without going to the selection?
Correct. So what you mean is, how would you know what's hidden in a report?
Correct.
Yeah. So the only way to know that will be a selection pane.
Yeah.
You click on it and you will have like a big list. So see this, for this report, if I would go inside the selection pane, you will have so many things hidden. And that's how you put more stuff on a single page and make it appear when it needs to. So selection pane allows you to see what's visible and what's not visible. This is basically your index, right?
Yes.
After selection pane, you have a bookmark pane. So bookmark pane allows you to capture the state. So first have a look on my screen, understand the concept of bookmark, although it's very, very simple, but this tends to confuse people as it becomes complex. So once I hide one visual, I click on add, I have created a bookmark. Let's create one bookmark. Make sure your donut chart is hidden before you create a bookmark. Done? Let's see how does it work. I click on this icon. Now both my visuals are visible. Click on the bookmark and it will take you back to the previous stage. That's all a bookmark is. It takes you back to your captured state. I unhide a visual, I click on the bookmark, it takes me back. Now I can create another bookmark like this, and I click on add again. So I have bookmark 1 and bookmark 2. Now see this. It just allows me to switch between the bookmarks, it looks like. So if I make them visible and if I overlap them like this, right? And also see these lines, these are also incredibly useful. When your visual overlaps another visual, this is like your guiding lines. It helps you understand if they are aligned properly. And then a switch. Let's rename the bookmark so it makes sense. So we don't have to remember. It's also a good practice to name things in a way that it makes sense. So bookmark number 1, when I click on bookmark number 1 displays my revenue by order method type, right? So I can just right click, rename, and I can call it, bookmark underscore, um, you know, order method type. Just name it in a way so you can understand it's a bookmark, and then it displays my order method type visual. Okay. Then I click on bookmark number 2, which gives me urgent visual. So I can also double click to rename. I can also double click bookmark underscore urgent. How do I update my bookmark? So once it is working, I'm just going to show you a few other options to simplify how do you work. So let's say if I want to create, for some reason I want to create this bookmark that when I click on it, I want to make both the visuals invisible and the other one I want to make both the visuals visible. So how do? You make both of them invisible. You click on these three dots. You don't have to do it. I'm just showing you how do you update a bookmark. You click on these three dots and you just update. You're just updating how this bookmark works. That's all. Update, and then I make both of them visible. I click on it, I make it update. So now one visual will hide both the visuals, the other one will make it appear. That's it. If I want to configure it back, I turn it on. This one, BMOMT, I want my order method one to become visible. So I will just go and update this one. Click, oops, again, click on it, update, click on it, update, right? So that's how you create and that's how you update. So step number 1, we had selection pane, controls the visibility. Then we have bookmark, captures the state. Now step number 3 is we want buttons. What will buttons do? Activates the bookmark from the report page. I don't want my user to go inside the bookmark pane, right? To make use of the bookmark. I want to put a buttons here and I want to attach one button to one bookmark, another button to other bookmark. So they can use the button to activate the bookmark rather than going to the bookmarks pane. That's what a button allows you to do. And you can actually assign an action to a button. In this case, I'm going to assign an action of a bookmark. Okay, so that's a step number 3. Insert buttons, right? You have all these buttons where your action is already defined in a button. So for example, this button is also there. It allows you to reset. That's a bookmark. Let's put a bookmark button. You can also put a blank button. Let's actually put a blank button because you can start with a blank button and you can assign any action to this button. You can make it bookmark, you can make it Q&A, you can make it help. So let's have a blank button. I have a blank button. Yes, yes, please.
Hey, thanks. I was just wondering with that reset button, is that the one we were talking about before in terms of having that filter reset? Is that the button that you'd select for that one?
So now what I see is they have put a special reset button.
Yeah.
How I would normally do, because I would actually start with a blank button and I would configure it for a reset as I would want. Because now I can, because normally how this reset will work will be, so you have a current state of the report, you have certain selection of a slicer, and the way how you would publish to a service, that becomes your reset criteria. So whatever you reset, it just takes you back to that selection. And we can actually test it how this works. So let me actually put a reset. Let's actually check If I put this city, let's say I put a country, select France. This might just work in service then.
I had one other question at the bottom of that buttons options drop down is navigator and then a bookmark navigator.
Yeah.
Is that an option for creating the buttons as
This
well?
also creates a bookmark navigator if you have like too many bookmarks and you want to navigate across the bookmarks. So effectively, they have given you a simple solution for that one. Once you know how to start with a blank, and you can create a button of your choice by assigning your own specific action to it, I think that just gives you a lot of flexibility. And all of these others are like a spin-off of the blank.
Right, thank you.
No problem. So let's start with a blank and explore some of the options. Start with blank. I turn it on. I go inside the action, and here I assign this action of bookmark to it. I want this button to become a bookmark button. When I do it, then I also have to assign what bookmark. Let's say with this button, I want to assign a bookmark of BMOMT. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. Make sure both your visuals are unhidden or visible, and then click on the button. You will notice this button does not work, but you have a message on the top of the button. And this is something that people tend to forget all the time, that my button is not working, my button is not working. Your button will work with a control key. You are in a developer mode at this point. To make use of the button, you will have to press control, but when this report will be shared with your user inside service, they don't have to press control, right? So here, hold control, press, and it should work. Make it visible, hold control, should work. Okay. And exactly in the same way, I can copy and paste the bookmark. Control C, Control V. Control C, Control V. Copy and paste. And then I can just switch the bookmark to the other one. So button number one with one bookmark, button number two with another bookmark. Then I can hold control and I can switch. If it's not working, let me know and I can help you out. I'm also going to rename my button so I can just see this. It just says buttons. It's a good idea to rename it. So when I click on this button, it gives me revenue by urgent. So using this criteria, I'm going to rename my buttons. Double click. I can just say B for button underscore. Let's call it urgent. Then when I click on this one, it gives me order method type. So double click B for button underscore OMT. You can use your own naming methodology, but use something so you can look at the name and you know what you are clicking on. 1, 2. Okay. Is this working? Just have a look on my screen for 2-3 minutes. I'm going to explain some formatting properties of a button. You can make it look a little nicer, but I'm not going to show you step by step. So I'm going to just discuss it overall, then give you some time to make your buttons look nice however you want. So I click on one button. I go inside format my button. One very common mistake that people make with button is this, which is they go inside general, they have this title, they turn it on, right? And they get like the title of the button on the top. Now this title, and what they do is they make it like really big and they decrease the size. Now this title portion of the button is not clickable. This will not work with a control sign like this. Most of the time we don't use title with a button. So I'll turn the title off. If I want to put the text in between the button, it's actually inside style, this text, right? By urgency. So that's one point. This gives you a text inside the center. And this is also clickable. And then I can make it a little larger, bold. Another thing that I like to do with my button is just change the shape of it. I can go inside shape and I can just make it, let's say, like an oval or maybe like a pill, right? Another thing that you can do inside style is this. You have different states: default, on hover, on press, and disabled. See this? That's your default. If I click on hover, correct? If I click on hover, I turn the fill on. Fill is this color inside the button. And let's say I turn it light gray. Now see this. See this little effect? Then I click on press and I make it maybe darker gray. On hover, press. And now these are the things where you can spend so much time, it's not even funny. So make sure you put this in context. And similarly, you can see all these properties, this entire thing, whatever you see inside style, you can press a state and then you can configure everything. So when someone clicks, there is a glow and there's this and there's that. You can have that kind of control, but don't overdo it. Maybe just don't do it for all the reports. So maybe when someone presses it, I can have like a certain glow and blur.
Sorry, Ollie, does that set two parameters for your button interaction, being one is on hover and two is on press?
Press. And the third one is disabled, which we have to use some kind of a tax expression to disable it. And there are some buttons which are disabled, like a drill through button. But yeah, these are the two main ones. And the default is default. When a button is just lying like this without anything, that's your default. That's on hover, and then you control and press, that's your press. So let me make some changes. You also make some formatting changes. I'll also make some formatting. So let's say default is like this. Maybe I can make the text non-bold. When someone is on hover, in the fill, I make it a little fill, and then maybe I can increase the size of the text a little bit. And when someone presses, I can like this. Maybe I can change the color of the text to white, and maybe I can make it bold. See this? I'll just show you quickly what I've done, and then I'll give you some time to do it. So this is my default. When I hover, see how the text increases in size? And then when I click, my text becomes white and my background becomes like grayish. Okay, so you can spend 5 minutes, explore some button options, make your button look a little nice. Shadow is also a nice one that people use with button. It looks like it's coming off from the ground. Okay. So any questions, please let me know. Unmute your mic and ask any question if you want me to tell you something again, or you want to do a certain thing with your button, not sure how to do it. Okay, now when this button is looking nice, what I can do is I can basically delete this button. I can click on it. I can also copy and paste, because now I have copied and pasted the formatting, switch the bookmark, and then also change the name, right? This shows me urgent. This shows me order method type. So I click here. So I just make some small changes to the text by order or by just method type if it becomes too long. And when you are changing text, make sure your state is default and it's not on hover. Otherwise, you will not see this text change. Make sure your state is default.
Sorry, Ali, where did you change once you copied it, change the bookmark so it's pointing to the other book?
It's inside
action.
action. Yeah.
Thanks.
That's your bookmark. So there are a few changes that I've made. One is the text. Then make sure you also rename your bookmark here, right? I want to call it. So OMT is fine. Let's call it urgency. So if you are happy up till this point, give me a thumbs up. I want you to have a look on my screen for next 5 minutes. I'm going to show you something which will make it very complex very quickly, in my opinion. So I'm just going to demonstrate it first, and then we are going to do it step by step the second time.